Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I have a fun fold card for you, and it's commonly referred to as a U-fold card, or sometimes a bench card, or even a vanity card. And because of its three-dimensional structure, it lends itself very well to creating a scene, such as you see here with this garden scene. But it also folds flat, because all you do is lift up little bench here and then press it to the side, and you can even fold this one back so that you could fit that easily into a square envelope. This is a really easy card to put together, and it doesn't take much in terms of materials either. So to learn how to make the U-fold fun card, stick with me and I'll show you how. The cardstock, you're going to need a piece that is cut to 10 by 5, another that is 2 by 5, and a third that is 3 1/2 by 7. Starting with the 10 by 5, score it at 1.5 inches, at 3 inches, at 7, and at 8 1/2 inches. For the 2 by 5, score it at 1/2 inch and at 4 1/2. So that is actually 1/2 inch on either side. So you could score it here and flip it around and score it again. And finally, for the 3 1/2 by 7, just place it on the 3 1/2 side and score it at 1 1/2. Right, and then turn it this way so that this narrower bit is at the top of the scoreboard, and score it at 1 1/2 inches, but only up to that score line, and stop there. And then come over to the 5 1/2, and only score it to that score line there. This, what you want to do is to cut away. I'll go ahead and fold and burnish it. But cut away these squares here. You want to make sure you cut away that score line, so that little lump there. So if you just come slightly to the left and take it out, and then slightly to the left again, and you'll remove that completely. Then do the same on this side. You're going to come to the right there, and the same here. So you have this now. All you need to do for this is just to fold and burnish those 1/2 inch tabs there. For the main part of the card, you want to fold this up into what's called a mountain fold, like that, and then a valley fold. And you want to repeat the same on the other end. So that first fold will be a mountain and then a valley. And you can go back and forth if you like, just to be sure that those are creased properly. Going back to that mountain fold. As you see, it forms almost like a gatefold cut here. So you have these sides that push in like this. And that's all the cutting and folding that you'll need to do. Right, I have these pieces. This is cut at 3 7/8 by 4 7/8. It's going to go here in the center. I also have these two pieces, which are going to go on the sides, and they measure 1 3/8 by 4 7/8. And these two are going to go on the inside here, and they measure 1 3/8 by 2 7/8. For this bench, I've got a piece that measures 1 7/8 by 3 7/8, and then for the front, I've got the same. So I'm going to start putting this together, and we'll start with the brace, which is this piece here with the 1/2-inch tabs. This is going to be glued here, flush to the bottom of this, placing our adhesive here on those, just right up to those score lines. Let me put my glue. You could use, I also have these two pieces, which are going to go on the sides, and they measure 1 3/8 by 4 7/8. And these two are going to go on the inside here, and they measure 1 3/8 by 2 7/8. For this bench, I've got a piece that measures 1 7/8 by 3 7/8, and then for the front, I've got the same. So I'm going to start putting this together, and we'll start with the brace, be the stopper for our bench, and that's going to go right in here along this score line and this score line here. You could use tape if you wanted. I'm going to use some glue here. So place it so that it comes flush with the bottom. Like that. And it will sit right in here between these score lines. Don't go over the score line, just right up to it. And then the same on this side. You can just hold it over like that. Flatten it down. Give that a moment to dry. You can see it might bow just a little bit, but what you will do though is to train your paper now to take up those folds. Just push them back and forth like that. That will help straighten that out like that. So we have our little brace here. Then we want to take our front piece, which is the bridge and the little bench here that's going to fit in like that. And all you'll need to do is just be sure that you don't come above this piece. So If I just place it down there, I could make a little tick mark just to be sure I don't apply my adhesive any more than that. If you do, you can always just wipe off any excess. So I want to put the glue down here, like that. And I'll take this piece and just line it up flush to the bottom and to the side here. Like that. And you do the same on this side. Then we're going to cover this up. Now you don't have to if you don't want to. You could decorate this if you like and have this decorated separately. But I'm going to just now decorate both of these columns here. Give that a moment to take hold. Right, now this will just push down. And that stopper is going to keep that from collapsing, but it will still fold flat. So let's take our two pieces. These were the 1 3/8 by 4 7/8. They're going to go onto these outer panels here. This one here. So I've cut a very narrow, or cut it so there is a very narrow border around, rather than having a 1 3/4 or 4 3/4. The 4 7/8 will give us that 1/8 inch border. Let's place this like this. Okay. You can place this one in here, which I probably should have done first, but you don't actually have to have it come down as far as that if you don't want to. In fact, I might just trim that off before I place that inside of there. I'll just mark on there where I want to cut it. Take that little bit off. So that actually is now closer to 3.5 inches. Next I have side pieces. These are the 1 3/8 by 2 7/8, and they are going to go along here. So we have that continuous brick wall there. For the front and for the bench, I have these pieces. This one is 1 7/8 by 3 7/8, and this one needs to be trimmed a little more. This one needs to be actually 1 3/8 instead of the 1 7/8. So I'll just trim that down a bit. So that should now fit on there. So this is 1 3/8 by 3 7/8. There is all the construction done, and now it's just a matter of decorating this. One of the elements I'll be using are from this Secret Garden card making kit by Devcraft. This was a free gift with a paper crafting magazine. These are die cuts from that kit, which I'll use to decorate here. I thought we could put the fork and the spade on either side of here. So I'll just put that down with some glue. I'm going to cut these little nibs off of here. Then I'll take them and I'll place them where those handles are, just to make it look like it's hanging on something. Tiny bit of glue. Distress oxide in peeled paint, and I've got another piece of cardstock that is a little smaller than that bench. I'm just going to ink this up. Just rub that across there like that. And I think I'll come in with some of these gathered twigs. Well, this gathered twig, I should say. I'll just grunge it up a bit, like that. With just a little more of this. What I'll do is I'll start decorating on top of that piece whatever I want to have here on the bench. I also have this piece, which I think it's just going to go right down here, so I'll just go ahead and do that. I could have this on foam squares, but I think it's just fine as it is. Need to pop that little bit out there. I stuck a bitty bow on the top of this little sign here, which is going to go up here. I think I'm going to put this on foam tape with a little bit of dimension. Placed there. And now I'll start working on the actual bench. I've got a few pieces here. I've got little fork here. And for that, I think I also will put a bit of this tape on. Have a little bird here, which we could actually place up here as well. Be perched, or we could have him even perched something like this, maybe like that. So this would make a lovely little decorative piece all on its own. Or you might want to bring in a sentiment, such as a happy birthday, which you can place here on the front. Whatever you like. The stopper here is doing its job and keeping that level like that. And of course, all you have to do is lift that up, and you can fold this to place it inside of an envelope. You can have it all the way out here, but if you have a smaller square envelope, you'll be able to get that in as well. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this You Fold Fun card. It isn't very difficult to do. It doesn't take a whole lot of materials as well, and you can make it whatever you like. This is often known as a vanity card, in that it does resemble a bit of a lady's vanity, so you could dress that all up with makeup and jewelry, whatever you like, or in this case as a sort of garden stand, a man's workbench, a kitchen scene would also work, as well as maybe a grill. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope if you're already subscribed to the channel that you'll continue to come back for more video tutorials. And if you're not, then I'd welcome you to join today. In the meantime, please stay safe and crafty hugs. Bye.